The U.S. economy holds significant weight in the world. When the U.S. experiences a recession, the effects are felt globally. This is due to the interconnected nature of the global economy. Trade relationships, financial markets, and commodity prices all play a role. Understanding these connections is essential to grasping the far-reaching impact of a U.S. recession. A slowdown in the U.S. economy means reduced consumer spending. The U.S. is a major importer of goods. This reduction in demand affects businesses worldwide that rely on U.S. consumers. The ripple effect can be felt in manufacturing, tourism, and various service sectors. Countries with close economic ties to the U.S. are particularly vulnerable. Furthermore, a U.S. recession can trigger a decline in global investment. Uncertainty and risk aversion often accompany economic downturns. Investors may pull back from international projects. This can lead to a decrease in capital flows to emerging markets and developing economies. These economies often depend on foreign investment for growth. In conclusion, a U.S. recession is not an isolated event. Its impact reverberates across the globe. Understanding the interconnectedness of the global economy is crucial for anticipating and mitigating the negative consequences of such an economic downturn. The U.S. has extensive trade relationships with countries worldwide. Canada and Mexico, its North American neighbors, are particularly integrated through trade agreements. A U.S. recession would lead to a drop in demand for Canadian lumber and automobiles, impacting their economy. Mexico, a major supplier of manufactured goods, would also experience a decline in exports to the U.S. China, a global manufacturing powerhouse, is a significant trading partner of the U.S., although tensions have risen in recent years. A U.S. recession could dampen Chinese exports, affecting its economic growth. Similarly, Germany, a leading exporter of machinery and automobiles, relies heavily on U.S. demand. A decline in U.S. consumption would be detrimental to the German economy. While these countries are directly affected by a decline in U.S. demand for their exports, the impact extends further. Many Southeast Asian nations are part of complex supply chains that feed into U.S. markets. A slowdown in U.S. consumption creates a domino effect, impacting businesses and workers across these interconnected economies. In essence, the global trade network amplifies the impact of a U.S. recession. Countries heavily reliant on exporting to the U.S. are the most vulnerable. However, the interconnected nature of trade means that even countries with less direct exposure can experience negative consequences. The U.S. dollar plays a pivotal role in the global financial system. It serves as a reserve currency for many central banks. Global trade is often conducted in U.S. dollars. This centrality makes the U.S. financial system particularly influential. A U.S. recession can trigger instability in global financial markets. During a recession, investors tend to seek safe haven assets. This often means moving funds into U.S. Treasury bonds. This flight to safety can lead to a surge in demand for the U.S. dollar. Consequently, other currencies may weaken against the dollar. This currency fluctuation can have significant implications for emerging markets. Many developing countries hold debt denominated in U.S. dollars. A stronger dollar makes it more expensive for these countries to service their debt. This can lead to financial strain and even debt crises in vulnerable economies. In conclusion, the interconnectedness of global financial markets means that a U.S. recession can have far-reaching consequences. Currency fluctuations, capital flight, and financial instability are just some of the challenges faced by countries worldwide. A U.S. recession can significantly impact global commodity prices. Reduced demand from the U.S., a major consumer of raw materials, can lead to a decline in prices for oil, metals, and agricultural products. This price drop directly affects major exporting countries. For commodity-dependent economies like Brazil, Russia, and Saudi Arabia, this price decline can be detrimental. These countries heavily rely on commodity exports for revenue. A drop in prices can impact government budgets, economic growth, and social programs. However, it's not always negative. Lower commodity prices can benefit some countries. For example, nations that are net importers of oil or other raw materials may experience lower import costs. This can provide a boost to their economies and reduce inflationary pressures. Overall, the impact of a U.S. recession on commodity prices is complex. While lower prices harm exporting nations, they can benefit importing countries. The net effect on the global economy depends on the specific commodities affected and the structure of individual.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to Always Mabel Canada and click the notification bell to get notified every time we upload all the amazing videos. See you next time.